Fire and Safety, Raising Cane's, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
This is Bree Fansteel, local race car driver. Join me and James Rowland every Sunday at 7 p.m. for The Finish Line, where we discuss off-road, on-road, and sometimes next-to-the-road racing on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome in to Ticket Sundays. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos as always, and it's a great Sunday if you're around to watch the Husker game. Huskers come off a big win yesterday. If you guys want to join in with all the excitement, 402-464-5685. This is What's Next 24. We got the host Mike and Sherry to my left as always, as well as the guest in as well. If you want to put a face to the voice, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, Allo, Channel 961. Guys, I'll throw it over to you.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to everyone to an inspiring episode of What's Next on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Mike, and I'm with the glamorous Sherry
and Harrison. I have to give a big
shout
out
yeah,
to
we always Harrison makes this show great.
He makes us look good.
And Sherry and I are the authors of Next 24, Discover Happiness and True Joy while you create a legacy, which is available at Barnes & Noble at South Point Mall. Today's a great theme. I think it's kind of going with the Husker theme today, a man on a mission. Sherry, before we begin, what shall we do our devotions?
Let's
affirmations.
Let's go to our little Ricky C. Simmons reading. If you haven't seen this before, but if you have, we totally advocate our good friend Ricky C. Simmons' book, 365 Days to Redemption. Ricky has the most amazing testimony, the most amazing story, and he's one of the greatest guys I think I've got to meet in a long time. His book, it's just every day. It's just a little inspirational thing. And, we really enjoy it. And let me say again, you can catch Ricky on 93.7 The Ticket on Sunday nights at 8. Okay. Today, to change your life, you have to change your priorities. There isn't enough room in your mind for both worry and faith. So you have to decide which one you will have live there. Spend time where you're celebrated, not where you're just tolerated. Good people inspire themselves while great people inspire others. It would be great to spend the rest of your life getting your laugh on. Love being happy, and like Ricky says, get your happy on, people.
Very good, very good. How about the affirmations?
We got our daily affirmations, yes.
That'll start out right.
Yes.
Of course, I'm glad the Huskers won, so that was a big affirmation.
Harrison?
Yeah.
You know the drill.
Yeah.
We do these little daily affirmations on our show every day and just remind ourselves how great we are.
Harrison, go ahead. Why don't you go first?
Got a blank one, so I'll do I'm awake and aware.
All right.
That's great.
I am enough. And I am enough. Sometimes more than enough most days.
All right. Sean, how about yourself?
Well, I got a blank one too.
Oh, you got to make
it. I'll say I am blessed.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Good one.
And finally, I choose to be positive.
There you go.
All right. Well, Sherry, why don't you welcome our special guest today?
I'll tell you what, we are so excited about our guest today. He's truly special, and we're so glad that you joined us today. I've known Sean for a couple years now, but Sean Turner is truly a man on a mission. He has very humble beginnings. He went from humble beginnings to demonstrating extreme leadership and bravery during his military service in Iraq, to starting and launching 2 churches in Florida, Plattsmouth, and starting a new ministry and church combo in Omaha, building a lucrative technology support business, working with his wife to build a successful real estate portfolio, to using his faith to making a significant impact in not just Omaha, but Omaha, Lincoln, and the surrounding areas. This is all nothing short of inspiring. His most recent venture, which is so exciting, alongside his father-in-law, whose name is Dwight Graves, they have championed New Vessels. It's an interdenominational fellowship that bridges the divide between different denominations without sacrificing the truth of the Bible. Their mission is to unite churches, serve the community, and reach the unreached for Jesus Christ. With his wife, Ebony, and their children, Sean works tirelessly to build a lasting legacy. Together, they're dedicated to empower others to foster a spirit of unification, and fellowship. So everybody, please welcome Sean Turner. I can't say enough about this guy. Him and his wife are just amazing. They are such an example to the community and to the friends and the family, and we're just so excited. to have
Welcome,
Sean.
Sean. How are you?
Amen.
How are you doing this morning? How's
I'm
that
doing
drive?
well.
How's that drive down? to
Oh,
Lincoln
it was awakening.
it was. Well, I'm glad you're here today, Sean. Sean, we started out yesterday. We had a good conversation. So let's begin. So you told me yesterday you grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, correct?
That's correct. And if it's all right with you, Mike, I'd like to open up in prayer.
Oh,
we're
please.
going. I
That's
want
a
God
special
to get
treat.
all the glory for this. This is an opportunity. God,
Go right
we
ahead.
all do this. Father God, we're so thankful for this opportunity. So thankful for this ministry of Mike and Sherry. Lord, we're so blessed to be able to have this platform to minister to others, and it's unique, oh God, that they're able to use this medium, Lord, to make an impact for you, Lord. And we're praying, oh God, as we have the show today, Lord, that you just have your way, Lord. Let your spirit move in a mighty way, Lord. Let those be touched, Lord. Those that are hurting, those that are in need, Lord, let them be touched, Lord. And we give you all the praise and all the glory in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Oh, Sean, thank you so much. This is wonderful. Go ahead, and just tell us your beginnings.
So, as we talked about before, Mike, and as Sherry said, humble beginnings. We didn't have a whole lot growing up, but one thing we, as a kid, we didn't know about it.
Yep.
You don't know you're poor. And my grandmother did a great job of raising us and taking care of us to the point where we didn't really realize we weren't really comparing things between our friends and others. And she brought us up in such a way that we knew we were loved. And as I was telling you before, we had a big family we grew up in. And we were like a second generation. Our first generation, there was a lot of what is pretty prevalent in the African American community is a lot of incarceration and drug use and drug addiction. And we happen to be that second generation where our parents and our older uncles and aunts were heavily involved in that, but us kids, we had kind of come away from that. And our grandmother had done a great job at bringing us out of that.
How many kids did your grandmother? How many
Oh
were
my
in that
goodness! Oh
family?
my god, there was probably about 14 kids in one house at
Oh,
one particular
Lord.
time. I remember we had it all split: the boys' room and the girls' room. And the boys would be bunked up. Some of the younger ones would be sleeping on the floor, and the same thing in the girls' room. And just a huge family, but we had family. You knew grandmother loved us, grandma loved us. We had a couple of aunts that were staying with us. Unfortunately, we didn't really have real father figures around during the time. And I do remember there were two prevalent father figures that I knew that stayed. And that was my uncle and my grandmother's friend, a close friend of hers. And I knew him. We called him Mr. O. He taught me how to play chess, actually. And my uncle, and he's the one I told you about. That he kind of I gleaned some of that hustler mentality, being able to just go out there and make things happen, taking an opportunity, and making it into a business. And I got that from him.
Yeah,
And
you were telling me, and Sherry, you can get another question, but you just mentioned he was in the recycling business.
Yeah, so he was in the recycling business, and basically what he would do is he would haul material that as he was cleaning. They asked him to clean up a particular area. He would take those items, and if he could recycle them, he would recycle. And so he hauled. We call it a hauling junk, basically. He had a hauling business, and he would haul it, and he would take those materials, and if he could recycle them, he would make a lot more money. But he would still get paid for the job, but he had a way of increasing his revenue.
Well, you made it sound like a big influence on you.
Oh, yes.
Share a little bit more. What was your observation?
Yeah. So my observation, and so prior to him showing me that, I had an opportunity to at the age of 12 years old to come across a gentleman who was selling candy, and he was taking kids door to door. And so I I came across him. He said, "Hey, you want to sell some candy?" And I think we had, I don't remember if it was after school or somehow I had gotten connected with him. And I said, okay, let's try it out. So he took a group of us kids and we would go to all different places in Phoenix, all over town. We'd go, he'd take us up to the nice areas up in the mountain, North Mountain, and take us to those nice big homes. And he'd say, hey, knock on the door, don't make yourself too good looking. Okay. You knock on the door and tell them, read the story, read the script basically. And basically, we would read the script. They would love what we were doing, and
Right.
they would give us money. And I was like, okay. So I stacked up a bunch of money, and then at the end of the day, we would count out. There's so much money of the product actually belonged to the business, but then they would let us have like $1 per box. And so, as a kid, 12 years old, you've got some money, and coming from nothing, not having, I mean, we didn't get regular allowances. We didn't get any allowances, to tell you the truth. If you got any money, you got it for Christmas, you got it for your birthday, or you got it from working for my uncle.
Right.
And so it was an opportunity for me to make some money. And I saw the impact it had on my life. It had an impact on my family and the other kids and the family and my friends. And it just kind of got the wheels turning in my head economically, saying, you know what, hey, I wonder what else I can do. And so I began to pay attention to things, and I started to notice my uncle. And we always just knew that if we needed to make money, let's go cut the grass. Our uncle's gonna pay us, and we're gonna make some money that way or anything else. But never thought about why did he have money to be able to pay us? Because grandma didn't have money to just give to us.
Right.
But he had money to be able to pay us if we just did certain chores and things like that. And so I paid attention and realized that he was taking an opportunity and making more money off of it. And really an opportunity out of nothing because, it's just some people are getting rid of stuff. And you could just haul it all down to the junk. He'd get paid for hauling it away, but he was doing more with it. He was actually taking and recycling certain things, and he was getting more money for it.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
So then eventually you started going or leaning toward the military. Is that correct?
Yeah. So later on, because of where I came from, how I grew up, we didn't have a lot, and so there wasn't a whole lot of uh, mindset for pursuing the next level, college and things like that. I mean, that came later for some of my younger cousins, but us current older cousins, as we were growing up, we were like, I don't know what to do. And so when the military came on the radar, when my brother, and who wasn't my brother-in-law at the time, but he was dating my older sister, and he was a Marine, and he was a Marine recruiter. And so I was coming up through high school about this time that they started dating. And he was like, hey, you thought about joining the Marines? And so I began to think about it. So, okay, okay. And then later on, I started to think more about, because I was always kind of a little handy with computers and things like that and electrical devices. So I started to think about computers and, I'd like to get a job. I'd like to get a career in computers and things like that. And they started talking about, oh, if you join the military, they'll pay for your college. And so I said, okay, let me check it out. So I went down to the recruiter office at the mall, and unbeknownst to my future he would end up being my brother-in-law. He didn't know I went down there, but I checked between the branches, and the Army was paying the most.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was not very happy about that. So, but I ended up enlisting, and this was probably about the summer of 2011.
Yeah, this is a good story you were telling me yesterday.
Yes.
Fascinating story. Summer prior to 9/11.
9/11, yes, and so I had just enlisted, and I was signing up. Okay, they're gonna pay my college. Okay, great. I wasn't thinking about war. I wasn't thinking about
Right.
going to combat or anything like that. I'm just gonna sign up here. I'm gonna get my what they call the GI Bill, and I'm gonna get the military to pay for my college. My way advancing.
Share with me, because I find this really fascinating. Yesterday, you told me about the lessons that the military gave you, the mindset and so forth. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes. So joining the military opened up my understanding about being able to accomplish the mission regardless of what's going on around you.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what kind of personal issues you're going through and you're dealing with. You still have to accomplish the mission. You still got to get it done. And that's the overarching theme of the military is we're going to fight our nation's battles, no matter what's going on internally, nationally, whatever. We're going to fight our nation's battle. We're going to support and defend our nation, and we're going to triumph.
How old were you when you signed up?
So it was probably about 17.
About 17.
17 when I signed up.
How did the process of the boot camp go into? You were in for how long?
I was in for 4.5 years.
4.5 years. How did it mold you, shape you mentally, physically, spiritually?
So, process of boot camp, like I said, it awakened within me the reality that you got to get things done. It doesn't matter what's going on. You may not like what you're going through right now, but you're going to make it through. And there's a lot of times we woke up in boot camp and they took us on those runs. They took us on those hikes or those marches, hikes in the Army. And it molded within us, especially when we were doing our qualification rounds with our rifles. It molded within us the ability that we can accomplish, we can get this done. And for probably one of the first times in my life, I feel like, you know what, hey, I'm doing something that's worthwhile. I'm doing something that's it brings pride in my heart. A sense of purpose, if you will. And a military does that. And it has done that for many people. It has brought a sense of purpose where they didn't, when they were, especially when the background that they came from, where they grew up, it brought a sense of purpose to them.
Oh, that's fantastic. What did you learn about yourself?
So I learned without myself that I could do it.
That you can do
that
it.
I can do it.
That's the key lesson, isn't it? That you can do it. So how does the 21-year-old or 22-year-old when you left look different than the 17-year-old that went in?
So the 22-year-old when I left the military before, and before I had to back up a little bit because probably about the first or the second year that I was in, I had gotten saved.
Well, yeah. I wanted. I'm sorry. Yes, I wanted to get
ahead.
onto this story because I think this was so touching yesterday. Go ahead and tell that.
Sure.
Story.
And so, again, I'm going into the military. I already have the mindset of, I want to better myself. And I know that the opportunity is out there to do that. And I was going into the military with that, understanding I want to change things. Here's an opportunity for me. Here's a vessel for me to get there. And about the second year I was in, I was reached out to by a gentleman, and I still love the man to this day. He's probably still in Washington State right now, but good man, good friend of mine. He had witnessed to me while I was walking at the base store. They call it the PX. It's like a store. And he had invited me to church. And I said, well, you know what? If you can find me, because I was in a place, I wasn't in the place where I was supposed to be staying when I first got to my duty station. And I said, if you can find me, I'll go to church with you. And he hunted me down. He ended up finding me. And so I ended up going to the church, and it was a different experience. I have grown up going to church here and there, but I had never really given my heart and life to Christ. And when I got to this church and the preacher that I was preaching at the particular time and the ministry and how he was ministering and bringing the word, it just was in such an impactful way that I began to realize that, you know what, I'm not saved. And let me get my heart and life to Christ. And so I went down to the altar. I prayed for salvation. And my eyes began to open. God began to open up my eyes to things that were going on in the world and going on in my immediate atmosphere, if you will. And it began to transform my thinking. So now, not only am I now going into the military with a mindset that, hey, I can get things done and I can accomplish things, I can hustle, make things happen. But now, with the way God has taken that and transformed it, now it's not about money, as you were saying.
Right, you were telling me about that.
And now it has transcended that. And now it's about, how many people can we impact for Christ? How many people can we impact with the message of Christ and reaching and connecting with others? This same a mode of transition, if you will, of changing what was my modus operandi, what was my mindset, what I was geared toward making money, to now it's more than that. It's more than that. Now we're connecting with people, helping people find Christ, because it's not all about money.
Right.
It's not all about this.
Was this when you were telling me about the Rich Dad Poor Dad? Had you read that book yet at that time?
I had not read that.
You
at
weren't
the
there.
time.
You
Yeah, I
weren't there
wasn't
at
there
that
yet.
time.
No.
But the mindset was of them,
Yes.
as all young people wanting to make an income. But you tell me a little bit more about the transition. How did the transition to the church and Christ change you as a leader in the military?
And so it changed me as a military, because as a leader in the military, because I had gained the understanding that, you know what, I am an ambassador, or I am a witness, a walking witness for Christ, as I was in the military. So, you know, even as a lower ranking enlisted, I still carried that. I don't want to say honor. I still carried that that atmosphere about me. Even I remember I would say that I remember higher enlisted would say, you know what, Sean Turner, you are the most religious person that we know. As I had a passion for Christ about that time when I first gotten saved, and my immediate unit knew, the people in my company knew, even extending out to my battalion, they knew that I was a Christian. They knew that I went to church. They knew that I didn't do things that, you know, normal GIs would do.
Yeah.
You know, and they respected that.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, how did the people around you respond differently to you?
Yes, they did respond differently. Some of them were, of course, they challenged it. That's natural.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, did you have some challenges?
I did have some challenges, but they respected it, but they did challenge it. And I remember one gentleman, I tease that he was like my arch nemesis, you know, in the military. He was out to do whatever he could to convert me to the dark side.
Yeah.
And so I remember he would challenge me on everything. I remember and it was fun. It became fun after a while, you know, just he would say something and I'll say, well, you know, this is what the Bible says. You know, it's not what I said, it's what the Bible said.
Well, in the military, I know you get challenged quite a bit.
Sure.
Now tell us a little bit. You did not expect you went overseas, correct?
That's correct.
You weren't probably expecting that initially when you signed up. You're going to go to the military. You're going to get your GI Bill. It's going to pay for college. Tell us about a little bit of the reality check. All of a sudden, you're going to Iraq.
So the reality check was when I woke up September 11th.
Yeah.
And I was in high school.
Yeah.
And I woke up and we were under attack.
Yeah, you know,
real.
that day's coming up here soon,
Yes,
anniversary. Share a little bit of the story, just the emotions that you were having, if you don't mind.
So I woke up and I was like, wow, is this really happening? Is this really happening? I mean, I had just enlisted. I just signed up.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it just went from, hey, I'm going to get my college paid for, to now we're going to war at this point. And so I remember some of the conversation I had. You know, I played football in high school, and we were talking with some of the guys on the team, and we're like, hey, you know, you signed up. You know, it was a real honor to be able to, but it changed my mindset that, you know what, I'm doing this for my country. You know, I'm doing this and stepping up the honor. And then a lot of them like, man, we respect you for that.
Well, absolutely. It's fascinating to me that you're going through this transition through high school, the military, you want to pay for college, the reality then of September 11th. Touch on a little bit, just in terms of you go overseas. I imagine, you know, you're seeing some very challenging, rough things when you're over there. How did that challenge you emotionally or spiritually?
Sure. So of course, going overseas, it was already a reality that it was going to happen. We were just, going through boot camp and everything. They're already gearing us. The drill sergeants are already telling, you're going overseas.
Wow.
You're going overseas. And so we already had it on our mind. We got to our duty station, and then a few months later, you know, we're shipping out, going over to Iraq, for where I went. And I remember being there and just the realism, you know, how real it was that you're touching. We're in a different part of the world,
right?
And it's not a safe place
No.
per se. You know, you could be attacked. And this one time we convoyed in from Kuwait into Iraq.
Wow.
And just the reality, we're driving the streets of Baghdad. We're going in as we're convoying. We're going to where we're going. Just the mind in the back of your mind, you know, that any one of these weird shaped objects lying on the road could be an IED, improvised explosive device, and any kid can pop up. Anybody can pop up with a remote control deals, because that's how they detonated back then. And so, and we're just cruising, and in the back of your mind, you got that going, and you know that kind of develops within you. You know, we talk about PTSD and things like that. You being subjected to that, you know, it's real. You know, PTSD is real.
Yeah.
And being subjected to it constantly. When we got to our duty station, our base in Iraq, we would set up our places where we're going to live or we're going to sleep, our tents or our. They eventually got us trailer units, but we had to sandbag those things and sandbag them on the outside and sandbag them on the top, because the terrorists over there were just launching mortars. And they would launch them indiscriminately, and you never knew where it was going to hit. So you hear every night, not even sometimes during the day, but they kind of got smart, because we hit them pretty hard. If they did it during the day, we find them pretty quick. So every night they'd be launching mortars, and so you never know where one was going to hit. I remember while I was there, a few times that it hit pretty close to where we were. And I know one particular one of the guys in my unit, he was providing communications, because I was in communications. He was providing communications to the base store at the time, and it was right next to it. So we had our combat communication shelter set up, providing phone lines and internet lines to the different places that we supported. And he was right next to the store, and they had a direct hit on his van. And so he ended up living through it by the grace of God, but he was peppered up pretty bad. He got a Purple Heart because of it. Just the reality of the possibility of you being hit with that just kind of developed something within you that, you know, man, is this going to be my time? You know.
Sean, excuse me, we need to take a quick break. We'll be back with Sean Turner with more with A Man on a Mission.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Early break. And then a week after retirement, he was flipping burgers in a what would you call that truck? A
food truck?
Food truck.
What kind of truck would that be with food in it?
Words are hard.
What is that? There's a truck. They show up. They show up at noon, and then they drive in, and it's a food. Oh, I can't put it together. I can't get this food truck.
Food truck. Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Fall is the perfect time to work on outdoor projects. Whether you plan to install a fence or add shrubs to your landscape, don't risk an injury by hitting a buried power line. Always call 811 before you dig.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com. It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
At Anderson Auto Group, we know your time is valuable. That's why, as part of our Experience Better process, we're pairing you up with a guide. It's one person dedicated to helping you from start to finish, making the process faster and easier. No more waiting, frustration, or spending countless hours at the dealership. At Anderson Auto Group, we want to help you take your time back and get you in the perfect vehicle. Contact us to get paired with a guide today. Experience better at Anderson Auto Group.
Landmark Implement helps you put dirt in its place with increased accuracy and greater speed thanks to the John Deere Smart Grade. This fully integrated 3D grade control system boosts job site productivity and reduces labor costs with fewer passes and less wasted material, meaning more bids won and higher margins. No masts, no cables, just clear views of the job site. Visit your local Landmark Implement today and discover the profit-boosting power of the Smart Grade and experience the Landmark difference.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into What's Next 24. Harrison Arndt on the ones and twos. As always, we got Sherry and guest Sean Turner and Mike as always. With that being said, you guys can join at Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, Channel 961, as well as the Starter Heyman text line. Mike, throw it over to you.
All right, well, welcome back. So glad to be here again. We're What's Next with Sean Turner of New Vessel Church. I call it a man on a mission. Sherry, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Michael. Sean, there's just so much to your story that I could just sit here and listen to you for quite a long time. But you mentioned that when you joined the military, somebody introduced you to God. Somebody introduced you to Christ, really made a big impact in your life. On the break we were talking and I asked him, did this happen before he went to Iraq? And he said it did. And I know that you told me that really made a big impact and changed your life. Can you kind of just share with us briefly how it really impacted you, transformed you, but also how it got you through that tour of duty in Iraq?
Amen. All right. So, I transformed my thinking, my mindset, and it gave me hope. Having a relationship with Christ gave me hope. It provided me an opportunity It was more than just the here and now. Um, most people, a lot of people, I would venture to say almost everybody is afraid of death. You know,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
and so knowing that you're going into combat, that's a big issue.
Mhm.
You know, that's a big,
Yeah.
big
That's got to
possibility.
be a heavy mind
Oh
thing.
yeah, we're shipping out, and this could be the last time. In fact, I have Christian brothers who it was the last time that they had went
Mm.
over. You know, we had seen them off, and one guy I know I was actually picking him up for church, and his unit ended up going over, and I remember I got the report back that a suicide bomber had gone in and had taken out, or he had snuck into the dining facility of the unit, and he just
Mm.
happened to be in there and blew himself up. And he was a good guy. He was a good guy. I real loved him. It became real. It became real that this is really what possibly could happen. My unit had not gone out yet. So his unit was out there. They were out deployed already. And it came my turn. I was in the back of my mind. I'm not saying even as a Christian, it's always in the back of your mind.
Mhm.
But the way you face it is different. The way you face it, the challenge, but you have that hope that it's not about if I die, and it's going to be all right. I got a relationship with Christ. I'm going to be with Him, just like the Apostle Paul said. To be absent from the body is to be present with Christ.
Now, did you see a lot of people that you in your platoon, your battalion, did you see a lot of them maybe did any of them come to you and go, I'm really freaked out. Tell me what you got.
I didn't really get that from them. They didn't come directly tell me,
Right.
but you would hear it in the conversations.
Right.
Just and that hey, it could happen. You just have those ominous conversations that if we don't make it out here, et cetera, blah blah blah. And it just became part of my goal to how can I help promote hope
Right.
amongst the team, and part of that was the reason why I began starting up Bible studies when I was overseas, and so I actually had started a Bible study. And prior to this, let me tell you, and probably a little bit before my first deployment, God had called me into the ministry.
I was just going to ask you about that because after the military, you went back to school when you got out of the military to become a pastor. So that was, you knew that when you got out, that's the path that you were going to take.
And it was solidified. I would say it was solidified when we went to our first my first deployment. And God had, by the Holy Spirit, had begun to deal with me about doing just that, providing that hope and ministering. And one of the things he said, he wanted a Bible study. And it wasn't just any ordinary Bible study. It was going to be a preaching ministry.
Right.
And it ended up being that way. I remember the first message I preached in Iraq when I went, and it was a group of transient soldiers. They were actually just stopping on the base for a little bit, so they were staying in a tent, and so they all stayed in an encampment. And I remember there's a group of soldiers that were just standing around, and God told me, "I want you to go preach right in the middle of those soldiers." And so I opened it up to Book of John, chapter 3, begin at John 3:16, and began to preach and teach. And I remember there was a group of them that were just standing there, and they were listening. They actually stood there. They stayed there. Here's this guy. I'm a lower enlisted guy. I'm probably private first class. Going in, and I'm going walking into a group of other enlisted people. They're like, well, "Who is this guy? Who do you think he is?" Showing up here. And I just began to minister and began to preach as God told me, as He wanted me to minister. And I remember they were just standing there and listening. And at the end, I did actually give an altar call.
Oh, that's awesome.
I did. I gave an altar call and invited them to come to Christ. And I remember they were standing, they were really thinking about it. I remember this one young lady that was in, it looked like her friend was beckoning her, "Hey, go ahead." And then I remember that she just hung her head down and ended up not coming forward. But I remember I saw her again later on that base when we were, they had these shuttles that would shuttle you to the base store. And I remember I saw her on that shuttle, and she just looked at me. She put her head down again. I said, God's working on her. God's working on her. And it's wonderful. God used me in that ministry, doing that, carrying that hope, providing that opportunity for people to come to him in the midst of where we were.
Right. But that's so amazing. And that's just testament how amazing God is. Now you went to, you got out, you went to school to become a pastor. You got done with school, got your degree to become a pastor, but you still had to probably do some things to make some money. So is that where you incorporated your computer technician skills and kind of put that all together as a package?
Yeah, I did. So in the military, like I said, I went to school, or I went to military school for communications. So because I was in communications. And so I had already had an interest in communications. And so while I was in, I knew I was getting ready to get out. I started going to school, doing some more things to kind of bolster my resume, if you will, before I got out. And so I ended up, when I got out, I ended up doing more school. But I want to tell you a funny story. I know we're getting ready. You're going to ask me a little later about getting married and going in ministry. I had made a crazy vow while I was in. And, as a young Christian, you do stupid stuff. Sometimes, say, the Bible says, don't make silly vows. The Bible says, don't make silly vows. I made a silly vow. I said, Lord, I'm not going to get married until I make sergeant.
So you put conditions on it.
I did. And God was so merciful and gracious to me. He allowed me to make sergeant.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And so then you met Ebony.
Yeah. Later on.
Oh.
But I made sergeant in the military, so I became a military leader at that point. So
okay,
so I was already leading by just by being a Christian. But when you put those stripes on, it's a little different.
Yeah,
it's a little different. Now you're leading by authority, the military authority. And so it became an opportunity for me also to continue to minister, not in a totalitarian type of way, as a military leader who just trying to rely on pure force would, but also to show love and how I was executing things. So,
well, and then just give me an approximate year when you met Ebony and got married and ended up in Omaha.
So, got married. I got out of the military about 2007, and I went into seminary school. I knew I was called into the ministry. It was an opportunity for me to finally go get some formal training, and I went to seminary school. It happened to be because I was stationed in Fort Lewis, Washington at the time, and the seminary school happened to be about 30 minutes away in Graham, Washington. So I ended up getting out and going to seminary school. And I had gotten to seminary. So it was probably, a little later in 2007, because I got out in February, ended up going into seminary probably about May, June time frame. And so I was there for about a good year before Ebony came along. And so,
well, and then, but how did you end up in Omaha? I mean, this is all leading to you ending up in Omaha and what you're doing with Ebony's dad.
Yes. And so I ended up marrying Ebony, and it was crazy how we met. I remember one time I had tried out I was trying our relationship, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to dump her. I'm going to dump her on Valentine's Day of all days. Just to see how she takes it, and she didn't take it very well, of course. But then later on, I ended up that night, after I had dumped her, I had I gave her a bunch of gifts and stuff. I wrapped her car with a bunch of.
It was like, oops.
Well, no. I had done it on purpose, and I knew when she got out, because we were kind of having like a little fellowship thing at the church, at the seminary school, and so I left early so I can go decorate her car. And so after I dumped her, she came out. She's like, "This crazy." It's just, she ended up liking me more after that.
Sean, I need to stop you there. We need to take a break, and we'll be right back with more with Sean Turner.
Lincoln Federal Savings Bank, personal banking Home. It's more than a place, it's a feeling. This is Eric Bertrand with Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. If you're looking for a place to call home, call me. Let's review your financing options and get you into the home of your dreams. Proudly serving Husker fans.
Personal banking like you remember.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Mindel Footwear is your solution against sore feet, blisters, and poor footing. Don't just take our word for it. Take it from Sip, who said he's never had a pair of boots more comfortable. You won't find Mindel Footwear in any store, sold exclusively at MindelUSA.com right out of Sidney, Nebraska. They're so confident you will enjoy the comfort their boots offer. If they don't work out for you, they'll cover the shipping to return them. Use code THETICKET for free shipping because your feet deserve a treat too. Mindel boots, just try them on.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Combined our home and auto insurance with our State Farm agent, so we have a rate that fits our budget.
All right. Do you think our agent can bring us an air mattress?
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Individual premiums and budgets will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Sea-Doo dealership. Score up to $300 off or a free 2-year warranty on 2024 Sea-Doo Sparks and $500 off or a free 2-year warranty on all other brand new 2024 Sea-Doos. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of September. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of motorcycles and watercraft in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, final segment of What's Next 24. Mike, Sean Turner, and Sherry all in studio. With that being said, I'll throw it over to the host.
All right. Well, this has just been great. I say this every week. We always seem to run out of time so quickly. Sean, amazing story. First of all, thank you for your service. Thank you so much. And there's a gentleman here at 93.7 The Ticket named Derek Pearson, and he talks about superheroes. Everyone's somebody's hero, and you're definitely that. You are definitely that to many people.
Yes.
From the people in the lives you've touched. In this segment, I want to talk about where you're at today with New Vessel Community Church. Tell us where you're at today, what's going on, and what's the focus right now.
So right now we're at New Vessels Christian Fellowship. It's called a Christian Fellowship because it's a little different. It's a different concept. It's not just in one particular denomination, but it's interdenomination. We're coming from two different backgrounds. My father-in-law is coming out of Church of God in Christ. I'm coming out of Church of God, and we're both ordained ministers out of. He's an ordained elder. I'm an ordained bishop out of two different organizations. But the question is, why can't we fellowship as a different denomination?
Right.
Like it's been a thing that you don't fellowship with people outside your denomination. You don't go do things with people outside your denomination. So why can't we come together as a Christian community and fellowship?
Yes.
And not only just fellowship, but reach the community.
Yes.
As a fellowship.
Now, this is excuse me, Sherry, this is a new church, correct?
That's
you
correct.
just launched when?
We launched in July.
So I find this fascinating. The thing you told me yesterday is you actually will go out to the community and go door to door.
Yes. So we were that was a thing that we were a way we were considering going door to door, but also more than just going door to door, but just word of mouth.
Yes.
Just connecting with people, because door to door by itself is not enough. It's not enough.
Right.
You're just showing up. You could be showing up in the middle of people's mealtime, and they don't want to give you. They don't want to open the door. You're just another door to door salesman at that point. But I think the reality is when you connect with people where they are, and you witness to them and allow them to build a relationship with you. Then that carries on, because I know of one particular person that she's been bringing a lot of people because of the personal relationship she has with us. And so she'll go and these are great people. And I think it goes back to a problem today, I believe, in the church, which is, how are we treating the community?
Yes.
How are we treating people?
Because, and I want to just throw this in really quick. I watch sometimes, and you see churches facilitate, and don't get me wrong, other countries need the gospel preached to them, but there are so many hurting people right in our communities, right in our cities, right in some of the even little surrounding towns around the bigger cities. That should be the mission field to the churches in the individual cities.
Absolutely. And that's been one of my personal drives, is that's one of the things we want to change. Yes, there's a big push on what we call world missions. It's a big thing they'll talk about what's going on overseas. I said, but what are we doing in the community? Why can't world missions also involve your place where you're at?
Absolutely.
We've got the open door, as we were talking about. We've got all different places around town that are already kind of witnessing, and there's other ministries that are already doing things in the church. Why can't we get behind those ministries? Why can't we partner with them and help them in their purpose? And that's some of the things we want to do as New Vessels.
Well, I admire the fact that you're willing to roll up your sleeves, willing to go to door if you need to, if you have to, and to do that. How can people today, if they want to learn more or get to know you and contact you, how do they contact you?
So they can go to our website, www.we-r-new.org. And that's the quickest way to get in contact with us. You can see what we're about, our mission. You also contribute to our mission if you want to. There's a give tab there. If this is something that you believe in, you really want to support it, we'd love for you to support us. But if you want to just connect, we would love to connect with you. Come by, drop by, visit us. We're growing.
You know, in our book, Next 24, we talk about discovering happiness and true joy. It sounds like you've discovered your happiness and true joy. Would I be correct in that?
That is.
What's the legacy you hope to create long term for yourself or the church?
And your family.
And the family, of course. True joy and happiness in Jesus Christ. And, you know, there's a lot of things that when we first, like I said, when I was a kid, I thought I found true happiness in money.
Mm-hmm.
And just, I just saw how it changed my economic situation, you know, so to speak, how it changed the kids around me. But being in Christ has changed my mindset entirely toward, you know what? It's not just about money, but it's about being happy and having joy in Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's great. Sherry, any other questions you have? I know we're running short on time.
You know, I love what you're saying, what you guys are doing. I mean, that is something that has been on my heart for years. You know, it's not just this church and that church. It needs to be a whole community. It really does. Because
Sherry, real quick, we're about ready to run out on time.
I
Sean,
apologize.
No. We always open up the mic. This is your opportunity to talk to the community. Go ahead and say what you would like to say.
I know we started talking about what PTSD and things like that in the military, and one of the key things was that hope. And I'm speaking to other GIs just like myself who've been deployed, who've gone through, and if you at any time feel like you're at that point where you're hopeless or whatever, you know, you reach out to us, especially reach out to me. You know, there is hope, especially hope in Jesus Christ. And there's opportunity. And that's what the key thing we want to bring to the community. We want to bring hope and opportunity. And there is an opportunity for us to do that as a church community. And that's what we want to bring to the people. We don't want it just be just us gathering and just going out and doing things, but hey, how can we help the hurting and bring the hope?
I think that's great. You know, to the listeners, just to remember this, no matter where you start, no matter where you're going, stay inspired and keep moving forward. Sean, thank you again. Appreciate you so much. We've got to do this again.
Yes.
Yes,
Sherry?
and thank you, Sean. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your friendship. And thank you for the message that you bring.
All right, until next time, we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, bestie. Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too.
My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own.
Always in the driver's seat, huh?
Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot.
Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop.
Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today. I'm ready. Burgers? Check. Chips? Check.